Repetitive tasks are being automated. Roles are being restructured, and across a lot of organizations, headcount is going down, especially in transactional work. So the question people keep asking is, do we need fewer people? In some areas, yes, absolutely. But that's not the real question. The real question is, who are the people you still need, and how are you deciding who gets through the door? Because when tasks disappear, judgment becomes more valuable. And when judgment becomes more valuable, hiring becomes riskier, not simpler. This is where a lot of organizations are getting it wrong today. They are reducing roles that are repetitive, which makes sense for sure, but at the same time, they are using AI in hiring in ways that filter out exact people who can do the kind of work that can't be automated. And that's what I want to talk about today. Last episode, I talked about systems. If you watched the video, you remember how organizations are perfectly designed to produce the results they are getting. Turnover is not bad luck. We discussed about that. It's an output, and the system starts earlier than people think. It starts with hiring. This episode is about how hiring breaks in AI era, what responsible AI hiring actually looks like, and what is costing you when you get it wrong. If you know me, I work in HR and people development. I sit inside these systems, and what I am seeing right now in organizations, they're racing to adopt AI in hiring without being clear on what they are optimizing for. I have seen algorithmic screening eliminate cognitive diversity. I have seen automation replace human judgment at the exact moment it matters most. And I also went through all the research by MIT, Stanford, Harvard, NYU, showing the damage this creates. So today I want to walk you through how the nature of work has changed, why specialist talent matters more now, not less, where AI is being used irresponsibly in hiring, and what responsible AI hiring actually looks like in practice. Because by the end of this episode, you should be able to answer one question honestly. Is your hiring system designed for the world that's emerging, or the one that no longer exists? Let's start with the reality of work. You already know this. Roles built around repetition, routine processing, predictable tasks. AI handles a lot of that now. Even not perfectly, but well enough that you don't need more humans doing that. But the roles that require expertise, judgment, context, the ability to see what AI can't see, those roles are not disappearing. They are becoming more critical. You need people who can work with AI, not compete with it. People who understand their domain deeply enough to ask better questions, interpret outputs, and recognize when the model is wrong. It's really important. That's a very different hiring challenge. You are no longer hiring for, can this person follow a process? You are hiring for, can this person exercise judgment in a world where the process keeps changing? And that changes what you need to assess. Yes, skills still matter, but you also need to assess depth of expertise, comfort with ambiguity, decision making under uncertainty. And there is something else that matters more than most organizations want to admit: purpose. The research is clear on that. When work becomes more complex, and I totally believe in that, more ambiguous and more judgment heavy, purpose is what sustains people. So we can't ignore that. When people are expected to think, not just execute, connection to purpose predicts who thrives and who burns out. So here, considering purpose is strategic, not just soft. If you're hiring people who will navigate ambiguity, override AI when needed, and make decisions without a clear rule book, skills alone would not hold them when the work gets hard. Now, here's where the contradiction shows up. Organizations say they want specialists, they want talent, they say they want expertise, judgment, and diverse thinking. Yes? And then they use AI in hiring in a way that filters those people out of the system. Let's be specific. Most organizations use applicant tracking system. We all know that, ATS platforms powered by AI. We are all using to screen resumes and rate candidates. These systems are often trained on historical hiring data. Who got hired before, who succeeded, who didn't, on the surface, that sounds reasonable, yes, but here is a problem that we should consider. Historical data may reflect bias, and it almost always does. AI itself doesn't correct it, it scales it. If you look at the research from NYU's AI Now Institute and Princeton's Center for Information Technology, policies show that algorithmic hiring tools, that if they're trained on biased data sets, they replicate and amplify those biases. So while you think you are being objective, what you're actually doing is automating yesterday's assumptions. You're filtering out people who don't match what success used to look like. Even if that model is not longer relevant, you need to consider that. And another point, over automation of interviews. Some organizations now they use AI-led interviews where candidates record responses and algorithms score facial expressions, tone, and word choice. Stanford's Institute for Human-Centered AI found that these tools consistently penalize neurodivergent candidates, non-native speakers, including me, and people whose communication style don't match the dominant pattern of AI they were trained on. That's not assessing capability, that's assessing conformity. And if you genuinely want people who think differently, who see what others miss, who bring cognitive diversity, you are filtering out exactly the people you need. If I look at MIT's research on human AI collaboration, it makes it clear AI is good at pattern recognition. Humans are good at judgment. I often quote that because I truly believe in that, and it works the way I also think like that. And AI can surface insights, flag patterns, and highlight things you might overlook. It's good at that. But the decision about whether someone belongs in your organization, whether they have the expertise, judgment, and purpose alignment, that has to be human. People need to be seen by people. Hiring is not just an assessment process. It's the first relational moment between a person and your organization. If you fully automate that moment, if candidates don't speak to a human until too late in the process, you have already sent a message. You are data first, a person later, and talent with options notice that. So, what does responsible AI hiring actually look like? It's not anti AI, it's disciplined AI. You use AI to surface patterns, not to make decisions. Your ATS helps your identity and help you identify candidates you might otherwise miss. It flags potential strengths or risks, but humans decide who moves forward. You audit your tools regularly. What patterns they are optimizing for? Are those patterns still relevant? Who is being filtered out and why? Interviews are human led, real conversations. You are trying to understand, does this person have the expertise this role actually requires? Can they work with AI as a tool? Can they navigate ambiguity? Will they thrive here, not just survive? Because here is what's at stake. When you look at talent, a specialist person, you are not just losing headcount, you are losing expertise that takes years to build. Institutional knowledge, judgment AI can't replicate. Some estimates put the cost of specialist turnover at 3 to 4 times annual salary, but there is a deeper cost most organizations don't see. If we look at Harvard research, organizations using biased algorithmic hiring tools had 23% less cognitive diversity in their teams. Same background, same thinking, same blind spots at the same time. In a world where work is changing and adaptability matters, that's not just inefficient, it's dangerous. So here is a question for you need to sit with. If your hiring system helping you find people who can work with AI or filtering them out, are you using AI as a decision maker or as a tool that supports human judgment? Are you hiring for a world that's emerging or the one that already disappeared? Hiring is the entry point to everything, and in this era, how you hire determines whether your organization adapts or slowly stagnates. In the next episode, we'll talk about what happens after hiring, onboarding, why specialist talent don't onboard generically, where AI can actually help when used responsibly, and why even perfect hiring fails when the system people enter is broken. Because hiring well is only the beginning. So that's all for today. And if you have any question regarding AI hiring, making it more bias free, feel free to reach me out. I'm always here to help. And thank you for listening.